Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of the Grandstand here on the Hot Patriot Oak YouTube channel. I am, as always, your host, Air the Hot Patriot. And for today's episode, we're actually going to go and do a little something here that Lawfully Arm was showing us a little bit ago in Tat Muffin Tops chat, which is flights around America. And apparently, there's a flight tracker here you can check out called planfinder.net, where it basically shows all the different, flights all across the country here. It's here in like Sioux Falls, South Dakota. There's a bunch of ones that say HBAL. So I'm not sure what these are. It doesn't actually come up with anything when you click on them is what it is. It just shows the altitude they're at right now is what it is. So I'm assuming that given that they're pretty close to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, this is probably a bunch of I would guess either military choppers or maybe like some kind of police choppers or something like that, like patrolling the city and stuff like that would be my assumption there, like maybe even the state for that matter. So that would make sense to me, honestly, on that one. But coming over here to Ohio, we got a few here in my area here. We got this one right here, flying at, looks like about a little over 2,000 feet up. So it's a squawk. So I assume that given that where that's at right there, it's probably, because a lot of these are in Columbus too for that matter. This one's over more in like Canton area. We got one of those in Columbus too. It's also a squawk. So I'm guessing you could probably police helicopters here would be my assumption there. Got one down there. Oh, it's a med flight one right there. So okay, that would make sense. So it's either med flights or it'd be these ones probably like that. I'm assuming this one's probably a police helicopter. That one was obviously a med flight one for somebody. And then that one's something else is what it is. And you got another one right here. That is some kind of small airline, it looks like. Maybe like a single. That's this Bowling Green there. So yeah, it's like a small airplane, airport, whatever you call it there. And you got your actual airplanes from various places. Prime Air. What's this one here? Frontier Flight. Unknown, that's probably a person. You got a Delta heading towards, looks like Fort Wayne area there. I'm guessing it's a police chopper here, would be my guess right there in that aspect. Huh. Interesting. Got a little crazy circulage there for some of these. I'm guessing this is a plane trying to land right here for Dallas Fort Worth from Turkish Airlines. Or no. Yeah, I think this probably, well, what the hell would that be actually? Okay, it's a squawk on that. So I'm guessing these squawks are probably police/military choppers. That's an interesting pattern it did. So it basically did like a almost like triangle from Indianapolis to where it's at right now there. Interesting. Let's see. Got a little one right there. It's the Cincinnati area. Got another one in Cincinnati area. Got a whole lot in Cincinnati there is what it is. This one right here. And they said got a bunch of planes there. Oh, there's a plane moving right there. Allegiant Airlines heading down towards Union is what it looks like it's landing at. So it's probably the airport area there. Everyone, I guess, which is about to land out there. Or some airport here, somewhere down here. So that's cool. Yeah, I got a UPS flight right there. So got a bunch of stuff down here in Florida. I know Lawfully was talking about one of these. It was like a police chopper or something here. Okay, that would be the airport right there for Palm Beach International. Got Fort Lauderdale Airport. And then Miami International. Delta flight. This is probably a helicopter. Interesting. This is cool, man. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I think what Lawfully was saying was, I guess, or not Lawfully, Tactical was saying, I guess, was it was supposed to be someplace over here by our southern border the other day, is where there was some kind of military aircraft that was flying around looking for something that possibly had to do with the terrorists that were arrested here in the last couple months now or so. So I'm not surprised. Probably them looking for their fucking shit they were bringing in, is my assumption, honestly. So, bunch of planes there around San Francisco. Actually, that's the airports, is what it looks like there. So you got Metropolitan, Oakland International, you got San Francisco International. I didn't realize they actually had an airport right there in that city. That's interesting. Then we got Norman Y something, San Jose International. That's cool. It's interesting because this is actually a learning thing for people like me, man, that don't know about all the airports in our country. So, you got Sacramento International there, California. That's pretty cool, man. Actually, what's even cooler is being able to look at this and see, like, the entirety of the state of California now for the first time. Like, there you got Eureka, you got Redding, you got Chino. Like, I've heard of these places before, but I never actually knew where they were actually located, so it's cool to see where actually located, and that's what it is. And you actually have the boundaries of the state of California to the state of Nevada there. You got Reno right there, and then Carson City. I didn't realize that Carson City was that close to the border, dude. Jesus. Same thing with Reno. Like, I didn't realize it was, like, right on the border of, like, California, Nevada. That's crazy, man. It's interesting, too, because the reason I say that, obviously, especially about Carson City, is I remember them always talking about that place in, when I used to watch Bonanza as a kid. So, that was, like, a big known one or whatever. Around the Cartwright Farm. Fucking love that show as a kid, dude. That and Little House on the Prairie were, like, my go-to, like, 1800 series and stuff like that. I was always a huge fan of, like, cowboy/western stuff as a child. It's also where I got my love and fascination of lever action rifles and single action revolvers, or just revolvers in general is what it is. But then, of course, I got, as an adult now, I'm in modern times, and it's like, yeah, that 5-6 shot revolver ain't gonna do shit against, like, a group of like 20 people. that 17 to 20 round magazine that you have in your gun that's a semi-auto actually will. And then having a few spares on that hand too as well to replace it with. So, but anyway. Wow, there's a ton around this airport here. Which airport is that right now? It was Harry Reid International. That's that one that's based off that sack of shit Harry Reid. Those don't know who Harry Reid is. That's the motherfucker who was involved in the Bundy Ranch standoff. He was I believe, ex-senator, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And he literally tried to steal Cleveland Bundy's land to sell to a bunch of Chinese wind farm investors that was there years ago. And that's why the whole Bundy Ranch standoff thing actually happened, for those who don't know. So yeah, this is a picture of that piece of shit Harry Reid right there. This fucking cocksucker. There's a better picture of him here in IMDb. Yeah, that fucking cunt right there before his death. Yeah, he literally tried to steal the Bundy family's land there and then sell it for a profit to Chinese wind farm investors to line his own fucking pockets. Like, this dude was a fucking traitor to this country, 100%, dude. And yet they named a fucking airport after his sack of shit ass. So fucking disgusting is what it is. People should be ashamed of themselves for that, dude, honestly. For real. So, anyway. But yeah, that's where the Harry Reid International Airport is right there. And, where's it at? Right by Vegas, it seems like. Not too far from Vegas. So, Okay, so you got Las Vegas, North Las Vegas. You got Winchester, Spring Valley, Summerlin South. I know that Shot Red's talked about some of these places before, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So now I know exactly where they're at, though, so that's cool. Silverado Ranch looks like something's heading towards that right now. What is this? What is that? Okay, it's LAX to Vegas, Southwest flight. That's cool. So it's heading towards Vegas, it looks like then. So yeah, I was probably going to take this flight and then go up towards this way. So my guess would be then towards Vegas or whatever, wherever the airport is there. So that's cool, man. What's this one over here? There's a WestJet from Tokyo to Vegas. So apparently WestJet is, I guess, a Japanese airline. That's an interesting looking flight. Interesting looking plane pattern there, dude. It's literally you got looks like Disney stuff on it because you got Elsa and her sister on the back there from Frozen. And then it almost looks like Mario or something on the front there or something. So I'm not gonna lie, dude. Or no, I'm retarded. That's just Toronto, not Tokyo. Duh. So that'd be Canadian airline if that'd be the case. Yeah, I'm sorry. My mind is out of it. It's almost 1 a.m., dude. So dyslexia is kind of kicking in a little bit that doesn't exist out there, except when I'm tired. So yeah, it's coming up from Canada. Then is what it is. So yeah, coming all the way up out of. Let's see where that flight pattern is there. Yeah, come up here out of Canada, and then down to Vegas. But not seriously though, I would actually like to visit like Japan one of these days. Maybe that's why I was saying Tokyo instead of Toronto, because I would actually like to visit international places where it does like you know different parts of Japan and stuff like that. So we got Arizona. Oh, that's cool. If you actually click the airport, it shows you like scheduled times for flights and stuff then too. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. This is probably like a single-engine Cessna or something right here is what it is. Somebody's personal flight or something. Southwest flight there. Got a Delta flight there. Another Southwest here. This is probably some kind of helicopter there. Like police helicopter. Oh yeah, look at that fucking flight pattern, dude. Look at all them circles, dude. Shit, yeah. They're literally circling all the way around Arizona City right now. Yeah, that's definitely a fucking police helicopter or something flying around there. Maybe a drone or something. So, yeah, look how fucked up that flight pattern is, dude. So it did like a circle here for a minute, and then went down here, did like another circle there, and then like went over here, and it just did like this crazy circle over here and stuff, looking for something. I wonder if maybe there's a suspect on the loose or something they're looking for it now is what it is, and that's what I thought they were maybe in that neighborhood or something like that right there is what it is. Now they're over here doing, looks like another probably circle there or something. That's some wild shit, man. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. I actually want to talk about something else too on here. So, one thing that did kind of bother me yesterday was you had one of the local PDs here in Ohio bullshitting about guns and drugs. And I guess this dude was out on warrants, is what it was there. And so they busted this guy for so-called drugs, and it was fucking weed. And I'm just like, come on, man. But yeah, you have this guy, and again, it goes back to the whole Graham Act thing that needs to be in place in this country, honestly. So you have this guy get busted. He was, I think, felon. He was out on, I think he was, I think what it said in the thing was he was being pursued for felony warrants, is what it was he had on him or whatever. For, I'm guessing, other drug dealing stuff would be my assumption. And then, yeah, this is what they busted him with yesterday when they finally caught him after he crashed out. It was a big old gallon pack that's about half full of weed. There's what it is, and then 3 things of Saran wrap, like sandwichy bags that he made out of, into like big old bags of weed. There's what it is. And this appears to be a Beretta APX, I think is what it is, with a shitty ass looking red dot on it. Or no, sorry, it looks like it's just scratched shit, honestly, is what it is. So it was a Burris Fast Fire, so that's actually a pretty decent red dot. But yeah, it's only, how many rounds is that? Looks like a 17 round mag, about half loaded. And then he had, looks like a full 33 round Glock stick. And then this crazy ass 9mm AR pistol here. So I'm going to see if I can actually do a rotation on this. See if I can get a better look at that thing. That looks fucked up, man. Look at that handle. Dude, the handle has a fucking zip tie on it. Jesus Christ. Talk about a homemade piece of crap is what it is, dude. Yeah, they couldn't even get the handle on there properly, so they had, probably because it wasn't even meant for that fucking handle to be my guess. So they had to zip tie the motherfucker together is what it is then. It's like, Jesus. Oh my God. And then you got literally like a fucking $25, $30 Amazon red dot on there is what that is. I know that because I have one of these is what it is, and they're not good quality, man. Like, they suck, honestly. That is a fucked up looking... It looks like it's not even a full gun, honestly, dude, because I'm trying to figure out, like, where the hell the barrel is on this damn thing now. Because you got a light on the side there. And then it looks like it might be, like, right here, if there's a barrel at all, for that matter. Yeah, it's got to be, like, a fucking 4-inch barrel or something on the damn thing, dude, if anything. Like, you ain't shooting shit with that thing, dude, and getting any accuracy at all, so... Yeah. And that's the thing, you'll find, like... this is what I'm kind of thinking, though, too, by the way, is, like, you know, when you look at these kind of things like this or whatever, it does kind of make you wonder, like, if shit ever does go south or whatever in this country, dude, like, how many people are going to have access to, potentially, a big-ass weapons cache in a police locker is what it is there, of just, like, random bullshit like this. And I could easily see people just, like, you know, jacking a bunch of stuff out of police lockers, what it is then, dude, at some point. If they have access to them, what it be then. Like, whether it be the cops themselves getting a small arsenal, or whether it be, you know, some, like, random individual that just, like, happens to work there. Is what it be, like, some civilian or whatever that works for the cops is what it is there, is like a, like, processor type person or whatever then. So, and we'll just have, like, keys to the room or, like, a key card to the room or whatever the case is there, because... I'm not sure if they'd have both at this point, honestly, because I would assume it's more key cards nowadays than anything. But I would assume you'd also have, like, just in case of, like, you know, the possibility of, like, a grid down situation, you'd probably have something that's like a backup. There would have to be like a hard lock key, is what it is then. So and that's one thing that always bothered me about in The Walking Dead when Rick and them went to back to the sheriff station there, and they were grabbing all the stuff out of the actual weapons locker there for the police is what it is. Because you would think you'd also go... I'm not talking about the first time either. I'm talking about the second time we went back with Carl and Michonne before you found Morgan Hell. The shit is what it is there. Because really, it should have been like your first go-to thing should have been then, okay, so the you know, police cache is empty there, whatever the case be. Like, wouldn't there be like an actual, like, you know, evidence locker that would have like various all kinds of guns in there, whether it be handguns or whatever the case be there, in like boxes and shit, you know? And that's one thing that bothers the shit out of me, honestly. Not to mention the fact that like Battlefield pickup should always be a thing in all these shows, dude. And like, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that you have a situation where, you know, like the episode of Walking Dead where it's the clear episode where they're talking to Morgan, he's all fucked up, whatever. Then I think in that case, the situation is a situation there of it's easier for an armorer to basically have like a bunch of guns, like a bunch of rifles or whatever the case be, for like a shot or something there, just like sitting against a wall, basically, than it would be for that person to have to go and have like this inventory of like, 40, 50 guns. But at the same time, if you're going to do a show, like let's say, I don't know, Black Summer, where you had that big shootout scene, like multiple big shootout scenes within the house, there's what it is in that second season. And then you have Rose and her daughter literally leaving the place. But yet the jacked up ass shotgun that they've had that she was having like a hell of a time trying to rack is what it is because it's all fucked up or whatever. Like, why the hell aren't you stealing somebody else's 12 gauge then? Like, throw down your own bullshit gun at that point and grab somebody else's 12 gauge along with a fucking bandolier of ammo and stuff like that. And at the same time, they should have taken like 5 minutes as well for that matter and grabbed several handguns too on top of that. And any kind of, mags or ammo that people would have on them at that point then. Like, it's so stupid is what it is, dude. And it really bothers the shit out of me on that one specifically. I was talking to Corey about that about a week or two ago now is what it is. And we were both agreeing back and forth. So it was like, yeah, it's like, how stupid is that, dude? Like, of course you'd have Battlefield pickups be a thing at that point. And I think that's the problem with Hollywood is it's like there's so many people that are just lazy ass armorers and stuff like that. They just don't want to actually have to deal with, having like X amount of guns on set, even though it would actually be a good idea to do that because, as that one episode of Walking Dead showed us, it was in the end of season 4, I believe is what it was, into 5 there. Or no, sorry, it was in season 5 into season 6 there, who it was. And it was after Rick and them had killed Joe and his crew of Claimer guys is what it is then. And then they had that bag full of weaponry is what it is there. And you show it is Glenn, Maggie, Rick, and other people in the group there that have like various guns. That's where Glenn gets 1911 is what it is. He carries for like 2 seasons or whatever it is then or something. Or almost 2 seasons, I think it's about a season and a half, give or take. But that's where he gets 1911 from is what it is then. And then you also have, I think it's Maggie with like an SK, or it's either an SKS or a Mosin Nagant or something that one of those Claimer dudes had. And then people have other guns for that matter. And they carry those guns all the way into Alexandria the next season, what it is then. And then it's for a little bit of time there. You also have some of them like keep some of the guns too for that matter. So, it's a whole fucking thing there's what it is, dude. So, anyway. But going back to this flight place, here's what it is. The website here's what it is there. You got a big update there of all the planes going into various international shit. There's what it is for California there. So zoom back out. Whoa, Jesus. Zoom back out, and there's a fuck ton of shit right there. Huh. There's all those H-ball ones. I'm going to zoom in on some of these and see what they're doing right now for flight patterns. Look at that fucked up flight pattern this one's got going on. It started over here, then it went zoop, zoop. Like it did a spin around there, and then some more spin arounds over here. See what the other ones are doing here. Got that one doing a loop-de-loop there, and then another loop-de-loop here is what it is. Yeah, I think these are really police helicopters is what they are probably would be my guess. That one's doing kind of a loopy there is what it is. And then that one's doing kind of a weird little loopy-de-loop there. Got that one doing a weird little loopy-loop there. And that one's definitely doing loops right here is what it is. Right near Springfield there, right around Neobara and Jones Island, it seems like. Man. I'm actually wondering if this isn't it might not be a police helicopter. What it might be is like a fire rescue, actually. Because given this is like obviously lakes and stuff here, I wonder if they're looking for like missing people or missing kids or something maybe. That would make sense why they're doing the loops around there, because it'd probably be them doing loops looking for like missing people. Or it could even be too. The reason it could actually be a firefighter helicopter, and the reason they're doing loops around the water there is because they're actually the kind of helicopter like scoops up the buckets of water is what it is there, and they might be having to go over the water supply there and grab them up to like fight a forest fire or something there maybe. That would make sense as well for that reason. It's hard to say since it doesn't actually tell you what it kind of actually is there, what it is. So, or does it actually? Yeah, it says balloon. I don't know. Maybe it's one of the Chinese fucking balloons, and that would be the case. So wait, is this actually a hot air balloon? That would make sense then, actually, possibly. But the fact that it's like even like a couple hours behind, it'd still be like almost 10:30 at night there. So Jesus, or almost 10 at night there. So I don't think it'd be like, yeah, I don't know, man. That's weird. Whatever. Let's come back over here to Ohio. Is what it is. Let's see what we got going on over here now. Got these little ones around Columbus here. Is what it is. Damn, look at that shit. That is definitely a fucking police chopper around the city of Columbus, dude. So, by the way, for those interested, since I always talk about Columbus specifically is what it is here, and about the liberal areas of it. So this Upper Arlington area right here is the richest, whitest neighborhood in Columbus there. It's also that fucking cunt Allison Russo's congressional district in the state, who is a known anti-gun cheater, sack of shit. She's also the fucking bitch who took a direct route from Austin into action 3 years ago. Then you got Grandview Heights here, which is where I used to live at for a little bit of time with my brother and sister. We rented a place in that area. It's pretty nice. It's also very, gentrified. There's some minorities there, but it's mostly white people, is what it is then. And then you got Bexley over here, which is not a great area. Whitehall is a shithole. My brother used to live over here in Reynoldsburg, but they don't live there anymore, is what it is. Pickerington is pretty fucking fucked up, too, for that matter. I know people were saying Orbitz is really bad now. I don't know. I've never been there. Canal Winchester is where that sack of shit Joe Blystone used to live, and now he's basically having to leave the state because he's a scumbag. Grove City is actually not bad. That's where they have all the shops there that you can go do, like outlet malls and stuff like that. I've gone there a bunch of times with family over the years, so it's a pretty cool area. Hilliard is another place my brother used to live many years ago, and it's gotten real bad these days though. Like it's very ghetto these days now, from my understanding. Worthington is kind of in the mix there, I think is what it is. And then there's a lot of like just downtown Columbus area here. Like just any which way you go to Columbus, there's what it is. It's just all bad anymore, dude. So like it's just all ghetto as hell basically at that point in the major, like the actual city part of the city there is what it is then. So yeah, looks like this is you can actually see that. Cool, you can actually see the plane doing its flight log right now. It's 1,700 feet. Yeah, I think this is a helicopter, police helicopter right now. Looks like they're pretty much just patrolling the city is what it is then. That's cool as fuck, man. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, this is like happening in real time right now, which is even cooler. So they're just going back over their own like flight pattern, it seems like there. Oh, no, I guess they just diverted a little teeny bit right there. Yeah, looks like they're probably just patrolling, make sure there's nobody doing any kind of shady shit right now at 1 a.m. Which makes sense, especially looking for criminals down there as well. So, I don't know, I'll have to check to see if there's any stories in the next day or two about this weekend over there in Columbus and shit like that, and see if there's anybody getting shot or anything like that, and the cops are looking for them by helicopter or something, because I'm sure that it might say that actually in the news stations. So, that's cool though, man. That's really cool. That is a hell of a flight pattern though, dude. Look at all these loops they're doing around that shit, dude. It's like loop up here, loop over there, loop down, bunch of loops over here, bunch of loops over here. Crazy, man. Crazy ass flight pattern for sure on that one. So, zoom out a little bit more. Let's go over to Canton here where I'm at. We got a, what the hell kind of plane is that in the Akron area there? Probably somebody's. I'm not sure what that one would be. That's a fucking weird flight pattern for that one, dude. Did like a whole loop around the state pretty much almost, it seems like there. Or if maybe that's like a personal plane or something like that. Somebody's doing like maybe taking somebody up for like a flight is what it would be maybe. For like a night flight or whatever then. Like Honda's been doing and stuff. Or they're doing like some night training or something maybe, because that would make sense, because it's almost doing like a weird like full like bunch of U-turn flight there is what it is. So I don't know, maybe. I'm assuming this one around Pittsburgh right here is probably also a police helicopter. Yeah, given the trajectory there. Looks like that's exactly what it is. Probably just checking on, make sure people ain't fucking around or whatever there. So, all right, let's go down to let's go over to Dayton actually and see what these two right here are. That looks like a pretty direct one. That also looks like a fairly direct one. That one looks pretty fairly direct as well. Now let's go down to Cincinnati here and see if they got anyone down there or not. There's this little weird peanut thing. Yeah, it doesn't actually say. So just a whole bunch sitting at the airport right now is what it is. Getting ready to take off or get cargo, whatever the case be, probably. That's cool, man. Yeah, that's a lot of fucking flights, by the way, when you start zooming out, dude. Like, that's a fuck ton of flights around the country and then around the Earth, pretty much is what it looks like here as well. That's a different country entirely right there, I think, if I'm not mistaken. At the bottom, so. Or no, sorry, I'm retarded. Oh no, that's a different country. Yeah, that would be the Paraguay and stuff like that is what it is right there. In Brazil, and then you got over here in Africa, different African countries. You got Congo, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Botswana, South Africa, the biggest shithole on earth, basically, right now. It's all anti-what as hell is what it is. A bunch of black supremacists live in that fucking place. Like, seriously, you cannot tell me that right there, like, just looking at that place, dude. We couldn't just wipe that motherfucker off a goddamn map right now if we wanted to. Like, super easy. And truthfully, if we wanted to, we could just take out the entirety of this fucking area. So it'd be like Kenya, Uganda, the Congo, Zambia, Angola, Botswana, Mozambique. Hell, you can take out Madagascar if you wanted to, man. You know? Like, it'd be so easy, bro. Huh. Okay, that's where South Sudan is at right there. That's cool. Talk about the Congo. For those who just know why I'm saying this, obviously, is because South Sudan was the one that was actually fighting Venezuela for years, of the biggest shithole with the most hyperinflation in any country is what it is there. So, yeah, this is also the, next to Venezuela, this is actually the poorest country in Africa right there is South Sudan. So, then you got the Sudan, Chad, which is where we had, that was where that movie In the Army Now, that's where they were supposed to be at right there, was that area during, I think it was around Desert Storm time period or whatever then. Then we got Nigeria, and it's one next to it there. Oh, actually, interestingly, I didn't realize that's where Burkina Faso is right there. This is actually where my cousins are at right now, is Burkina Faso. So, and yeah, they're missionaries over in that country currently. And I really wish they would get the fuck out and just come back home already and be done with it, dude, because they don't need to be over there at all right now. Oh, that's where Cameroon's at. Okay. Cool. Learn something every day. I didn't realize that was that close to Nigeria as it is as a continent region. Yeah, it's interesting. This is Burkina Faso right here. Then there's the Ivory Coast right there, which is where my cousin used to be a missionary at. And he said that this is actually the Ivory Coast area here is actually the most corrupt and the worst place you could ever be as anything that is not like native black people basically there, because this is actually the place back in, I think it was around 2000. It was either right after 9/11 or it was right around the time of 9/11, like right before it, basically in 2001 there. And this is when my cousin was almost beaten to death by a bunch of rebels and stuff back then, because you had him, it was him and like one of the other missionaries that was there. And then I think there was like a fourth person who was somebody else. And then there was the driver guy who was an African native is what it is there. And they were all going into the town there is what it was. They could get some gas. And then I think it was supposed to be for like supply run, basically, is what it was for like the village or whatever. Which is more or less, it wasn't really more or less the village. It was more or less like them as missionaries and stuff like that. The basic necessities they need is what it was from this like little town or whatever it was then. And yeah, they were stopped there at some point by this roadblock of rebels because it was all, you know, dictatorship there leading that fucking place is what it is. And, you know, basically warlord after warlord is what it is there. And then what you ended up having then was a situation where they were stopped by this roadblock of people who were literally trying to yank them out of the vehicle, and the one dude had my cousin by his shirt is what it was. They were grabbing that shirt like that, basically. All of a sudden, you just see this little Jeep come fucking flying up out of nowhere, and it is, I believe it was 3 military guys in it. There was one driving, obviously, and then the main general dude, who just pulls up his AK and is just like, let that white boy go, motherfuckers! And like that's exactly what he said to him, by the way. He's like, you let that fucking white boy go! And like as soon as he said that, the people were just like, okay, we're cool. And he's like literally pointing his AK at these dudes at the time then. And he looks at my cousin and he's like, you, get back in the car. Go now. And like as soon as that, like all the people basically had backed off about 10 feet or so, give or take. My cousin jumps back in the vehicle. This fucking Jeep flies off, hauls ass about 70 an hour or so, give or take. And the dude who was driving the vehicle my cousin was in was just like, fucking flies out right behind him. That's what it is, dude, and gets the fuck out of there. So yeah, had it not been for like whoever the hell military people were in power at that time as like the, you know, de facto military of that country is what it was, man, my cousin would have been a dead man at that point, just for being a white guy in that country. And I've told him several times, I'm like, why do you keep like at some point, like it's got to be the white savior complex, right? Like it just has to be, because it's like, why would you keep going back to almost got killed by people over in these countries, dude? Like it's just so stupid, honestly. Like it makes no sense at all, dude, to me anyway. So yeah, I would never find myself in any of these countries, whether it be the Ivory Coast or Burkina Faso or anything like that. Especially when you got, like, especially with the way Burkina Faso is, or here's what it is, dude. Like, you literally have it being taken over now of a mix between them trying to go full Russia is what it is, but also at the same time, you've had multiple coups in that country in the last year or so now, because nobody is able to actually go up against Islam right now is what it is currently. And that's what it is. They got a bunch of Islamic terrorism going on over there right now. So it's like, yeah, why would you ever be part of that fucking nation when you could easily just bring your ass back up to the fucking States is what it is, bro. Actually, there's Russia over here is what it is. Damn, there's a lot of fucking flights around this area, dude. Where's this at right now? Oh, it's like Sweden, France, Austria, Germany, all that stuff like that. Am I going up or down for the U.S.? Like, I'm trying to figure out where the fuck I end up at now. Because for some reason I end up over there in, like, the African coast and shit. This is Greenland here. Okay, we got into Egypt. There's what it is over here. Got Mali over there, Mali. Where the hell is the U.S. on this damn map, dude? I feel like I'm going the wrong way right now. Okay, I keep going back that way to Chad and everything. There's Russia and all those people like that. Nigeria. What is this down here? Okay, that's Australia. Okay. Why is this not wanting to... What the fuck, man? It's almost like it's sticking me where I'm, like, not wanting to be right here, because it keeps, like... I don't know. It's fucking up real bad, I think is what the problem is right there. So I'm going to go ahead and... I'm going to try to go back to that again and see, like, America immediately. Or just send me right back to where I was at right there. Nope, just sent me right to where I was at right there. What the fuck, man? Huh. I don't understand this at all right now. U.S. Nope, not actually giving me a chance to do that then. Huh. Weird. So for some reason, it is literally sticking me over in like the African coast and shit right now. Strange. Very, very weird. Yeah, like it is not wanting to change it up at all, man. The fuck? Oh wait, did we just get back to nice? I was able to click on something that sent me back towards, it looks like the United States, maybe, maybe not. Nope, that's the UK. Son of a bitch. Where the fuck are they, man? Damn it. I'm trying to find one that says like America on it here. Huh. See if I can find a way to get this one or not. Damn it. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on with this now. It seems to be jacking me over to the south coast is what it is or something. Like the Atlantic Ocean there or something won't let me go back anywhere, so yeah, it's weird. It keeps like huh. If I didn't know it, bro, I think they were trying to black out the United States on me right now is what it is. It's fucking weird as shit, dude. Yeah, it's all sending me over. It keeps like as soon as I'm like trying to like do like a shift like that or whatever the case be, it just takes me right back to like Africa nations again. Or like Russia and stuff. Like no matter what I do, it keeps going back to Greenland and Russia and shit. It won't let me move my thing at all. Weird. Super fucking weird. Very, very strange. Huh. Yeah, that's super weird, man. Yeah, I'm like stuck in Brazil and stuff like that right now, is what it is. I don't know. Very weird, though. But yeah, like I said, though, interesting to see exactly where Burkina Faso and like other African nations there is what it is. And how close it actually is to Ivory Coast, which, granted, those are all huge nations, though, at the end of the day, because if you look at where the Ivory Coast, it's like the size of Texas, basically. So you're talking about like the size of Texas, and then it's like Burkina Faso is like the size of a few states here, is what it is. And it's interesting, too, because my cousin was actually telling me about Burkina Faso and saying how, I guess, the dust devils that start up over there is what it is with all the crazy dust is what they have over there because it's so dry and stuff. That some of them actually go straight to the ocean and eventually is what becomes hurricanes is what it is there, like tropical storms even for that matter. And apparently, I guess it's where like all these hurricanes start out is in that like the outskirts of that nation on the coastline is what it is there. But he said it's really interesting because you can go from the dry season where it's like super like just humid and like just dust everywhere is what it is there to like a day or two later there's like this monsoon, and as soon as the water hits the fucking ground, you just see it's almost like that one episode of Tailspin where they go to the place and it like knocks open the thing, whatever it is there, and it creates that like crazy jungle thing is what it is with all the dinosaurs in it. It's kind of like that basically because he's like as soon as you see like the water start to drip down or whatever, it's then like you can basically have like a full lush garden there is what it is of just like grass and everything else like that because it grows that fast is what it is because it's just like literally like sprouts in the ground just waiting for the fucking rain to come and just like bud up like crazy real fast is what it is then. So and then he was saying how they could grow peppers and stuff over there in like a couple days is what it is then. It's pretty cool. Like I'm talking about like huge peppers like that big basically, whereas the ones we have here in America are like maybe like this. So although I know my cousin who lives in Alaska, he was talking about some of the heads of lettuce and stuff like that he'll grow up there because they have almost constant sunlight is what it is. So like a head of lettuce that would be like this big around here is what it is would be like that up there is what it is. So it's fucking nuts, dude. But anyway, I'm getting pretty tired right now, and I got some things I gotta do, and then I'm gonna go to sleep for a while because I don't really want to nod off in the chair again because I did that last night. And I don't really feel great. That's what it is now. And plus, I think my cousin was talking about possibly going out and doing some stuff today, maybe going to the farm and going fishing for a little bit or something like that. So I kind of want to do that, obviously, if we're going to go out today or not. But maybe it's going to be tomorrow, who knows. But either way, I want to be refreshed for when that happens, what it is. So I'm going to call it a night on that one. But yeah, that plane finder thing was pretty interesting, then. So I'll check that out again later on, is what it is, and go from there, basically. I wonder if that would actually show Air Force One or not, then. I doubt it, because I think that would actually be one of those ones that would be almost like a flip a switch kind of thing is what it is there, and you wouldn't be having people be allowed to look at that really is what it is there, because then that way you can be able to track the presidential movement is what it would be then. Same with Air Force 2, my assumption on that one. I'm not really sure what Air Force 3 would be used for, unless it would be like, like various like high staff and stuff like that, maybe, or something, or like senators maybe even for that matter or something. So who knows? Probably delegates would be my guess. But yeah, it's funny how NEA was talking about that movie Independence Day and how it was the aliens trying to actually help us out is what it is, because they blew up Washington, D.C., L.A., and New York City in that movie. So, I mean, he's kind of not wrong on that one. At the same time, it's like, that being said, though, the guy who was president in that movie was actually a decent guy, it seemed like. And then you had other people who were just, whatever at that point. But yeah, I mean, I guess technically if you talk about LA being, bombed to the ground basically by the aliens, like, yeah, you got rid of Hollywood pedophiles and stuff like that, so that's pretty good. So, also, the one thing that bothered the shit out of me, and always has for that matter, is, and it's something that doesn't hold time either, by the way, is the shitty green screen effect where the dog is like trying to jump into the fucking, the door there is what it is. Because number one, first off, that dog wouldn't have made that jump. He would have been dead from the flames and shit coming at him. Number two, the people that were actually in that fucking room, like her and her kid, like, flames just don't go like that across from you, people. Like, they will literally swoop into the place you're in too. So yeah, they would have at least had like singe marks on them for nothing else, dude. If not like, full blown like first, second degree burns for that matter, at minimum. So yeah, there's a lot wrong with that movie. That is just like suspension of disbelief shit, honestly, at the time. That if you go back and rewatch, it's just like, yeah, it's some bullshit, honestly. Then, of course, you had Discount Keanu Reeves in that movie, which is, I forget what that guy's name was offhand. It's like James something, if I'm not mistaken. He was the same guy that played in Gone in 60 Seconds then as the guy who boosted the car that was a drug car is what it was there. So, actually, that would be an interesting one if him and Keanu Reeves got together and actually did a movie together, where it was basically like kind of like a Freaky Friday kind of movie or something like that. But it would be like them swapping each other's like consciousnesses. Trying to think how to pronounce that word. Like each one of them gets each other's consciousness is what it is then. So it'd be like Keanu Reeves goes into that guy's body and that guy's consciousness goes into Keanu Reeves' body is what it is then. And they have to figure out how to get back into each other's is what it is then. That'd be kind of cool. So I'd watch shit out of that, by the way, if it was a movie or like a small miniseries or something like that then. So, especially if they did it from the perspective of it's actually the guys playing themselves on that one, because that would make more sense than anything on that. Like, it's not just them playing two characters, it's them playing the actual actors themselves. And then so you'd have to have Keanu Reeves basically act like this dude, and that guy act like Keanu Reeves is what it is then. So, it'd be kind of funny. But anyway. Only time will tell, though. I doubt it'll ever happen, but it'd be funny if it did, though. So, one of these days, I need to get back to writing again. If I'm going to be here for the rest of the year, hopefully I can be. And then if that is the case, I will start writing my book again as what it is, because I definitely do want to work on that one novel I've been working on for a while now. And then I stopped writing it for a little bit of time there, which is basically the alternate history if MLK and JFK, or not JFK, if MLK and RFK both survived assassination in the 60s and then went on to become president and vice president respectively, and then so forth and so on after that then. So, but yeah. So anyway, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Here's what it is, but like I said, pretty interesting stuff. And like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. And I will be back, like I said, sometime probably later tonight is my guess, for another episode of Freedom Friday is what it will be. And then we will be, or not Freedom Friday, Standard Ground Saturday. And then from there, I will be doing some other stuff as what it is then. But yeah, other than that, have a good one, y'all. Stay safe, stay vigilant. Always be carrying because you never know what's going to happen. And always ready for anything because, you know, if worse comes to worse, I believe Cannibal Monday could be a real thing in this country. So don't be that guy is what it is. Don't be that gal for that matter. You know, be prepared, have the food ready is what it is. Do for yourself and your family and not, you know, have to resort to eating people. So, you know, that should never be a resort to go to, man. And even if it's a last resort, honestly. But, you know, desperate times may come desperate measures, what it is then, and people may go full insane is what it is there, dude. But, you know, at the end of the day, if, you know, society does collapse down that route, but you have to come back from that at some point, like, do you really want to be the person that has a bunch of, you know, you literally slaughtering people and then eating them on your consciousness? Because I know I don't really want that my own right now is what it is, dude. But at the same time, I'm just like, if worse came to worse, you know. Now, granted, again, not that I really want to go down that route. It would definitely be like a very, very, very like last case resort kind of thing is what it is there. And like I said before, I think there's going to be a lot of unintentional cannibalism is what it is there. People are just hungry as hell. And you got, you know, 100 people walking out into a forest to go think they're going to shoot some deer, whatever the case be, and then end up shooting each other is what it is. Not all of them, obviously, but like, you know, let's say like 4 or 5 people end up shooting each other or something like that. And then you just got, you know, you're just like, you got 4 or 5 people dragging back, you know, who used to be Leonard or whatever it is there. And everybody's like, well, you know what? Like, I guess it's meat. Like, sorry, dude. Like, and then somebody just, you know, starts chopping off, like somebody takes a fucking machete and just starts chopping arms and legs and shit off and just, you know, going full Walking Dead season 5 is what it is there or something. Or, you know, really it's like the beginning of Z Nation. I think it's like 3 or 4 episodes into that show is what it was, dude, that they showed that shit. So, yeah, I could easily see it being something like that, dude, where it's like, you know, worst come to worst, like, start hacking limbs off and shit. So, now, granted, I know with, I know there was one back in the day. It was, trying to think which one it was. It was one of those ones where it was like a soccer team or something like that got stranded on the Alps or something for several weeks and stuff. I was watching something recently about those dudes, and when I see recently, I'm talking about probably a few months now ago is what it was. And they were saying about how I guess with that, they couldn't actually make fires and stuff like that to cook the food, which was obviously people's meat is what it is there. And so what ended up happening was they were essentially like trying to figure out like how to like slice pieces of people off is what it is there. And so you essentially had the ass meat first is what it was. And it was basically sushi at that point. And they're like, yeah, it was just the slimy, like gross shit basically. And they're just like, but I was so hungry. I'm just like, and like, I'm just like, nah, dude, like, fuck that noise. Nah, I'm good. Like, that's when I actually would starve to death legitimately. If you can't cook it up, dude, like, fuck that. No, hell no. So you got to have a fire, dude. You got to, I'm not eating fucking raw, you know, flesh at that point. Fuck that noise. So that's where I actually do draw the line at that point. You know what I'm saying? But, anyway though, but no, seriously though. Yeah, I can see a lot of unintentional cannibalism happening though in this country, especially across the world. If there was an economic collapse across the bunch of nations and stuff like that, like first world nations and stuff. So I could definitely see it being just like what happened there recently, where you had that barbecue dude and his buddies taking over, and it was videos coming out, and this dude literally is like, it's like somebody like with some dude's leg like on a fucking like rack thing or whatever the case be, and this guy just like pulls the fucking leg down or whatever, and just like takes a slice off with like a machete or a big knife, whatever it is, and just like gnawing at some dude's fucking like really really fucking like barbecued up flesh at that point. It's like totally burned up flesh, basically what it is there. And it's like, man, that's fucked up, man. So, but yeah, I think there's definitely people that would get past that very quickly is what it is, and that's a scary fact right now of life. So, yeah, I think there's definitely going to be cannibal hordes when it's all said and done. And I think people need to wake up and realize that very quickly, dude. And a lot of them are not going to be Americans, by the way. So you got to be ready and willing to take them motherfuckers out, what it is then. So, anyway, but yeah, like I said, though, stay safe, stay vigilant, all that good stuff. And I'll see y'all for Stand Your Ground Saturday. Later, y'all. Peace out.